A very good morning, Sporty Monday here on Citizen TV. Lots to discuss, lots of content, and of course, I'm joined in studio by two eminent sports persons. Fred Arocho, karibu.
Thank you very much. The highlight of my weekend was my basketball team.
Your basketball team. Anyway, Steve Shitera.
Asante sana.
1-1, is that fair enough?
That was fair enough. As Mourinho will tell you, if you get a draw also at Anfield, you have won.
You've won.
Yeah.
Okay. At Anfield is a win. Says Steve Shitera. Anyway, welcome on board. My name is Isaac Swiller. We'll later on be joining Willis Raburu remotely. I hope technology will allow us. But Arocho, first things first, let's begin locally. Lots of content. Tusker, who beat your team, will be releasing 11 players. But before we tackle that, our teams, the volleyball team, that's GSU, trying to their best to win the title there in Mombasa, and of course Prisons retaining that gong. Your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts, I think there's some improvement generally as far as the sport is concerned in the country. You look at where we are coming from, with all due respect to the federation. I think we had a slumber.
There's the Kenya Volleyball Federation.
Yes, the Kenya Volleyball Federation. We had a slumber some time back, but I'm seeing things are happening. And what is mostly encouraging to me is the fact that even the men volleyball is now coming up. Initially, it was the ladies that was doing well, but you can see some progression. And for me, that is good. It shows that the future is bright. And most of the times when I'm on this show, I try to encourage these federations to make sure that they put the house in order. With semblance, once again, with semblance of order, we'll see something. We are seeing that in basketball. Of course, what we are seeing with our boys, the way they performed, they've now moved to the next level. They are going to play against Southern Sudan. For me, semblance of performance, we'll see good results.
Before Shitera comes in, Ibra, let's have the graphics of the volleyball team. That's the Prisons. Let's begin with Prisons, who actually retained that title in Mombasa. There's some graphics there. But even as he works on that, Shitera, what's your thought? Prisons defying the odds actually to retain that title. Does it come as a surprise? There we go. Basically, Arusha, look at that. That's the GSU main team retaining the title. This was in Mombasa. They beat Prisons 3-1, actually in the playoffs after the conclusion of the regular season. And now Prisons, GSU rather, under the tutelage of Coach Tarus, and now they won in those sets. Does this come as a surprise for you? What do you think maybe GSU did right to retain this title?
I think it's consistency. And during this COVID period, I think most of the teams that had that financial muscle really excelled. I think it cuts across the board. You see it in soccer, you see it in all these other disciplines. And just to remind our viewers that this is their 14th title, it confirms their prominence in the game. And once again, congratulations for the good job that they've done.
They have been so dominant, and even look at there, they won 25-21, 18-25, 25-19, and of course 25-14. This shows you that they really dominated that match, 3-1. That's no mean feat, Shitera.
Prisons really did a good job by, of course, showing some resistance, because they did not go down 3-0. It was 3-1. And really this shows that volleyball has been resilient through the pandemic. So many sports have gone under, but such results shows you that indeed there is some hope even as we try and battle this pandemic. But one thing that I would like to raise is that there is a concern, because we've been putting a lot of emphasis in football, a game that is not even paying back. I congratulate governors who are doing a good job bringing up a stadium in the country. Oparanya, Governor Kakamega took the lead. We are seeing some good work in Kirinyaga, Governor Waiguru, some good job in Siaya, Governor Rasanga, some good job in Kisumu by the national government. But again, all these stadia that are coming up are not having facilities for indoor
arenas, yeah.
Like volleyball, basketball. I think to all those governors who are doing a good job, this is something that they need to take up. We only have a proper infrastructure, the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani, where we have a gymnasium that can host volleyball, basketball. But again, it's again a pointer there that the governors who are doing a good job, let them also consider that apart from football, we have other disciplines like volleyball, which Kenya prides in. We have other disciplines like basketball, like we are doing now. We are taking pride in basketball. So let them also consider other sporting discipline and ensure that we have facilities that will help our young people to train and nurture their talent through different types of sports.
But still staying with the same Shitera, look at Prisons. They retained this title. They've been a dominant force. Remember when they took the title from Pipeline, that's 3 years ago. Now they've won it 3 seasons in a row. And look at even this term, the manner in which they have retained it, if Ibra can run the graphics shortly. Now, what does that portend going forward? Because you look at even the national volleyball side, Malkia Strikers, and Arocho, you can take us through the graphics on the screen there.
Well, as it's being projected, as you said, they're defending their crown for the 3rd consecutive time. Once again, I'm going back to my initial point that institutional teams are somehow excelling in this pandemic season, simply because of the fact that they have that financial prowess. You see KCB, even on the graphics, you can see we're talking about GSU, we're talking about KCB, we're talking about Pipeline being the dominant clubs in this discipline. So I think for me it's a wake-up call for even the clubs that are not really having that sponsorship from the corporate world to also make sure that they are doing it. It is a confirmation that GSU are really are really the champions, because as you said, this is their 3rd successive they've done it 3 times in a row, so basically they're confirming their prowess.
Yeah, actually the last title was won by Kenya Pipeline. That was 3 years ago. And now Willis Raburu is joining us. Raburu, if you can hear me, at the coastline, wherever you are, whether it's Malindi or Mombasa, you'll bring us up to speed. Probably your thoughts on the weekend assignment, Prisons and GSU retaining the volleyball titles in the women and the men respectively, men competitions respectively. Maybe your thoughts, Saburu, if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you. I guess, first of all, I'd like to give a big congratulations for retaining the title. I like what Shitera said about, you know, as usual, we all know one of Shitera's biggest strengths is he advocates for grassroots and everything. I like that. That needs to be done, I think, in every sport. That you know, we must maintain. We've talked about it before here when it comes to volleyball. Even as we had the transition, we saw what happened over in the Olympics and everything, and they're doing well. But always in every sport, I guess we need to focus mainly on you know, what's going to happen in terms of recruitment, pumping in new people, looking out for new fresh blood, to use the word, and so that whenever we move forward to the next level, we are always constantly and consistently churning out good players, and this is in every sport and in every discipline. And before I forget, you know, today I'll be throwing in loosely a name every so often. I'll be saying something that is not even related, but I'll just say something like, so, even in volleyball, Cristiano Ronaldo, and even as you move forward, I'll just throw that name haphazardly because of my excitement, so don't mind me. But yes, that's what I have to say.
Raburu, you must be so excited right at the pool there. I know Ronaldo came, but first things first again, I still stay with you. What do you think probably needs to be done to break the dominance of Prisons, Pipeline, and GSU? Because you find it's 4 teams usually haggling for the title at the top every season.
I think it's the same thing. You see what is happening in football. We can do the same thing for we can argue almost the same for volleyball and all this, because again, as I think Arocho always says, you need to have structures, you need to pump in money, combine that with what he said about looking for fresh new talent, building up a team, so that then people can compete. They can compete at different levels. So if we are to change any sport, including volleyball, what you need to do is work a layer pesa, work a structure, look for players, pay these players, and hopefully then there'll be other challenges and everything. And also even with all these things, just like again tunasemanga hapa, put in the work as well. Yeah, usije sasa uko na kila mtu iko safi alafu you don't train and all that stuff, alafu ukuja hapo sasa unaanza kusumbua Mungu na maombi na hujafanya kazi. So over and above all these things, yes, let's the structures be there. Let's look for people from the grassroots. Let's finance more teams. Let's make the tournament more accessible. And then after that, now let the players and everybody put in the work, and then we'll have some competition at the top.
Great, Raburu. Just hold it there. Rishtera, let's take the plane shortly to Kigali, Rwanda, where we have the Afro Basketball Championship ongoing, and our own Morans actually competing in that tourney. They lost 2 opening matches, but beat Mali in their 3rd game actually to qualify for the quarterfinals. Shitera, what are Morans' chances? And so far, can you just give us a review of that performance? Do you think Morans have done so well? Are you impressed with the game so far?
Just like the ladies who started on a bad footing, I think the quarterfinals is a do or die for the Morans, who really had a great outing the other time. And the same thing goes out there that, yes, we really need proper facilities to train these young boys and girls. I think they are giving out something new in a discipline that was not dominated in Kenya. Just like the sprinters, all these things are showing us that Kenyans, we are capable of doing anything. Look at Diego. He brought out something that was not known to Kenyans. Afrobasket, Kenya's performance, they did it the other time. I think it was the first time they were doing it, and I think their performance will really be of importance moving to the semi-finals. And I believe that their training and their resilience will push us to the semi-finals in as far as they lost their opening matches, but went on to win against Mali to push them into the quarterfinals. I still have hopes that this is a team that will be in the finals, going by what has been of them in the past few months.
Arocho, last year we saw the team do so well in West Africa, and people like Gare so outstanding in the team. Look at Tyler also doing very, very well. But now again, they're coming on board of Coach Liz Mills, the Australian. Look at the sparkling performance they had last year in West Africa. Right now they're in Kigali in this championship. Now they're the quarters, but remember, they didn't really do so well. Probably, do they have a chance of winning this, going all the way to the final, and probably tie it down with the coming of Liz Mills? What does she bring to the team?
Well, we have the chance. I've seen the team playing. We played our first match against Cote d'Ivoire. We lost, but I could see some progression. Moving into the next match against Nigeria, we also lost, but you can see the team is improving. The last match that we won against Mali, for me, gave us that strength, gave us that confidence that we can do it. I think the main thing that Mills has done in that team is brought that teamwork. You can see that our teamwork has really improved. This is the first time in 28 years that we've won an AfroBasket match. The last time we won was against Algeria, I think in 1993, when we won against Algeria. So basically, it's a team that is under progression. The only problem I have with the team so far in the 3 matches that I've watched is I think our transition is we are losing a lot of our balls, and you can see when we drop balls, we concede. So basically, I think if we can work on that, then we are good to go. Going into your second question about our coach, I think she's brought confidence. Not that we didn't have the confidence before, but he's brought self-belief in the team. You can see the way Tyler Ongwae is doing his stuff. He is so confident, and the fact that now we are reaping from what we sowed some 10 or so years back. The Basketball Federation in this country moved several players from secondary schools to some went to America, some went to Europe. So we are now reaping from what we put in some 5-10 years back. So basically,
but again on the same Arocho, look at this national setup. Most of the players they are playing their trade overseas, and even in the national women's side. But look at the state of the local league. It's so poor, it's so dire. Matches not being played, matches being postponed. You can't even get fixtures. But now if you go to the national team, they're doing so well. How do you explain this?
Yes, that's precisely what I was saying. The Basketball Federation took several good players who were playing in secondary schools, and they took them to they went for their further studies in Europe and in the States. Someone like Ongwae has been away for some time. So basically, the local league is not doing well because of the problems. And I think I would also like to challenge the government to invest more in the infrastructure, because basketball infrastructure is somehow expensive. It doesn't need. It really needs the government as the big brother to pump in money so that we can have several basket courts, and that one will trickle down to the secondary schools and ultimately improving our league. So once again, it's a challenge to the government, but kudos to the federation. You see up there, when we are going for the national assignment, we bring in our players. About 7 to 9 players are coming from all over the world to come and boost the team. And putting in what Coach Mills has done, we are performing. I am seeing us doing so well in Rwanda.
We are performing. Arocho is very optimistic there. Let's follow through and see how the Morans performs rather in Kigali. But staying on local content, let's link up with Raburu in Malindi. Raburu, at the weekend, we had the playoffs of the Kenya Cup, and Cabras and KCB won their respective matches, actually, to sail through to the grand finale. This is going to be tough between Cabras and KCB. Remember, KCB have been very dominant in this league, Raburu. What's your thought? Where do you foresee this contest heading, Cabras or KCB?
Well, I think I'll put my money on KCB. I think they have what it takes to go to the next level, because they are going to, like I said, although Cabra at that time, as you can see there on the graph, they beat the Leos 39-19 in the semis, and KCB dispatched the Oilers at 15. So I think for me, I like the competition. I'll put it on KCB. However, just take you back a bit also in terms of what happened in terms of the basketball. I like just to say, Ligare and Okari did well. And I think even Mills, whatever she's doing with the team, it's going to be interesting. You see, when they face South Sudan, this is the same team they had faced, I think sometime, let's say this year, January.
Yes. Because
the next first, so hopefully they'll win and they'll do better. But again, for the Kenya Cup, I think it will be interesting. For Mimi, Niko na KCB. I don't know if Arrocho's loyalty is
always
goes across.
Always.
Okay, but Raburu still saying there, Shitera, Raburu believes it's going to be KCB. But look again, this is a team that has been so dominant in Kenya Cup. I think it's only Cabras now trying to give them a run for their money. Remember, Cabras topped the regular Kenya Cup standing. I think they are 5 points clear of KCB, and you've seen there from the semis played at the weekend. Do you think maybe Cabras have what it takes to break the dominance of KCB?
It has what it takes, not by the fact that it is my home team, because Cabras is my home. I believe that over the years, what they have been putting in place, you will realize that this is a team that has been building day by day. And it's a formidable side. In the semis, you saw the results. And I want to put my money on Cabras. I will not want to be swayed as Raburu.
By Arrocho and Raburu.
Mambo ambayo imetoka Sindwendwe. I think KCB will finish in the same place as their football counterparts.
But remember, even
we won. No. Just to pick on Raburu and Shitera. Yeah. Remember that we beat Cabras, that is KCB, in the last finals. Yeah. So it's not something that KCB has not done.
But this is a different one.
But going back to this, once again, I'm going to say it on this show. You can see that dominance, the corporate dominance in all this display.
Very strong. Yeah,
it's very strong, more so in this COVID era. I'm seeing KCB emerging because look at the fact that KCB, the national team, the bulk of the national team comes from KCB. Yes. So basically,
but that should not be the picture.
It is a transition.
I asked last Monday because if you look at the Tusker football team, we only have like 2 to 3 players. So the national color should not paint exactly what will happen in the final.
Football is special.
That's what I'm saying.
You know why I'm saying football is on a negative way. Football is special in a negative way because when you do well in the league, in any discipline, world all over, when you do well in the league, it will translate in the national team. The number of players are going to get the call up. And that's why I'm saying football is special because we all of us know the underhands that normally happens in the football arena.
Okay, underhands in the football arena. Raburu again staying with you on the line. Let's shift gears to the Kenyan Premier League or the football Kenyan Premier League if you so wish. And Tusker claimed a record, not a record rather, but a 12th league title and ending Gor Mahia's dominance. But just days after hosting coach Robert Matano live here on set, he's actually made some changes there. Goalkeeper Patrick Matasi has joined the club. Ibra, if we can have the graphics. And of course, there are a number of players who Arrocho earmarked for the drop. Look there, Charles Momanyi, that's a Gor Mahia defender. Patrick Matasi, P's lacking there. Ibra has already joined the club on a free transfer. There's Protas Kirenge and Ibrahim Joshua, who are all joining from Tanzania. So basically what Matano is telling us, Raburu, is that he's rebuilding the squad ahead of CAF Champions League. But again, there's a lot of hue and cry. This is a team that won the title. Around 11 players also are set to be dropped. Actually, they have not made this communication official, but 11 players are set to leave. Raburu, your thoughts on this? Coach Matano swinging the axe. What's your thoughts on this?
Well, I think, like he said last time when he came on the show, he promised that, actually he didn't promise, but he said if the club is willing to spend money, then he's able to bolster the team in areas where he thinks that they're weak. I think for them getting Matasi, first of all, is good for them. I think this is what they call a statement of intent. So we are now willing to, do whatever it takes to continue to be dominant, to continue to be strong. However, the number of the players, though, I don't know what. If it was another coach at the helm, I would be a little bit worried. But with the experience that Matano has, I think that they'll be able to navigate through all of this new building them back into the squad, taking their position and kind of rejigging everything around until they stand. I think it's a very strong statement of intent that, hey, we are willing to do. However, it's also if they start registering any dismal performances moving forward, and this is not in any way, shape, or form to disregard the quality of the players that are coming in, but if they do start, the pressure will be on. Either way, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Matano and the entire team. So, however, I think I'm fairly confident in on his experience and that they'll wade through the tough waters.
Arocho, look at those names. George Blackberry Odhiambo, of course, he joined the Brewers from Goma here. Chris Ochieng, Chris Onyango, Brian Marita, Luke Namanda, Roger Saloro, Sammy Major, of all the names, Robert Mboya. Are you surprised? What's the surprise inclusion here for you?
Well, I'm not surprised. Most of these players are players who are who are not really playing oftenly or regularly. Yeah, someone like Jojo Diambo has been coming in late in the day as far as their game is concerned. So basically, I think what Matano is doing is trying to bring in players who are going to propel the team to the next level. I normally said that when you have a good teacher in primary school, you cannot move with the teacher to the secondary school. You have to leave that teacher in the primary school and of course get another teacher up there. The only he's brought in some inclusion, and
actually you have some inclusion there.
Yes.
He expected there's Clyde Senaji. Yeah, Momanyi is already in. Then they expected Clyde Senaji, Rupia, Leopard's top goal scorer, Teddy Osok. Actually, this is a player who began his career at Gor Mahia Academy, and there's Shami Kibwana, who is also expected here.
Well, I have a problem with Clyde. Clyde is a very good player. You realize that he was even dropped in the national team last night. He's not longer with the Harambee Stars. Clyde has a problem. I think he has some personal issues to deal with. He needs to concentrate on the game, because the moment Clyde played in the finals when Gor Mahia played FC Leopard, he's been missing in action, and I was even surprised when he was named in the national team. So Clyde needs to up his game. He's gone to Tusker, and he has a lot of competition in Tusker, because Momanyi is also a central defender, so he needs also to get his number. Elvis Rupia might not go to Tusker. I think he's mentioned here because he's outside the country at the moment. He's gone for some trials elsewhere. In any case, he doesn't succeed there. I think that's when he'll come back to Tusker. Teddy Osok is coming from Zambia. I think he was dropped from a team in Zambia. He needs to also up his game to survive in Matano's team. Shami Kibwana, this is a player that Tusker and KCB lost 2 seasons ago. I really felt it when Kibwana left KCB. He's done so well at Kakamega Homeboys. In fact, he's the player of the month this month, the ending month, and he's going to give Tusker more options in that midfield, because he's a very good player. He knows how to handle the ball. I think that's a very good accusation.
Shitera, what does this mean for Ingwe? If they lose Clyde, basically they're losing him, and of course Rupia, your top scorer, also leaving the troubled den. What does that mean for Ingwe?
I think this just shows you that a team with financial muscles will always prevail. And for a team like FC Leopards not to hold on to their asset in the name of Elvis Rupia shows you how the Kenyan clubs are really dwindling into financial constraints. I'll give you an example of Borussia Dortmund, who got hold on to their player, Erling Haaland, in as much as that Chelsea splashed in a lot of money, but they were not giving in because they are organized. Look at Tottenham. With the financial muscles, Manchester City tried to bully Tottenham. They resisted. So for any team that would want to pose a challenge the successive season, You really need to hold on to your best and add on the best to your best. So I think AFC Leopards is losing. It's a pity. Gor Mahia are losing. It's a pity. I'm not seeing any light at the end of the tunnel for the two clubs. And this really calls for football administrators, in as much as you keep on saying that the federation has nothing to do with finances at the club. But I will take you back 10 years ago when we had a broadcast sponsor. These teams had shirt sponsors, and the problems were not there. Blackberry Odhiambo was thriving at Gor Mahia then. Yeah, you remember the likes of Kina Salim, Rama Salim,
Danny Serunkuma.
Serunkuma. Gor Mahia would get players out of this country. It's a pity now that Gor Mahia cannot get players
overseas.
Overseas, you see. So it's a pity because the football, the money is not there, because there is no flavor in football. Sponsors will always support football that is sweet. But now look, our football is no longer sweet. Who is watching it? We used to watch football, Kenyan football, week in, week out, and it's a challenge. The football administrators, they keep on saying and telling us that we have given you sponsors. It's not the federation who give the sponsors. It's the football that attracts sponsors. So to me, I will challenge the federation to sweeten the game so that we can have a challenge. Look at how Tusker is bullying players and clubs. Look at how KCB is bullying
yes,
clubs.
The financial muscle.
You see, KCB can buy a good player from Gor Mahia. But I'm feeling bad because, as Raburu will tell you, how many fans does KCB have? How many fans does Tusker have? You see, we need a team like FC Leopards, Gor Mahia to compete.
Shabana.
Absolutely.
FC.
Talking of attracting sponsors, look at the case we had in Tanzania the weekend.
Yes.
The national stadium in Dar was filled to the rafters.
Any sponsor, will invest in the Tanzania.
Ibra, if you can have the image on screen, it was filled to the rafters. Then now come back home and look at the state of Kenyan football. Right now in Europe, the league we follow so much, the fans are back to the arena.
Look at the Liverpool match.
And by then in Kenya, we are not even sure when we'll have fans back in the stadia because of COVID, and probably the vaccination exercise is not doing very, very well. Where does that leave the state of Kenyan football? And also heading to next term, can Tusker really make an impression in Africa?
I'll pick from what Shitera has said. Football is a combined, sports is a combined effort. And the problem we have in this country, as far as the football leadership is concerned, they feel so sweet. They feel that football is for them. They are the people who must make decisions as far as football is concerned. Football is not about chest thumping, suspensions and expulsions. Look at Tanzania. Surely, I watched yesterday Yanga having their Yanga week ya Mwananchi. You know, you really feel that there's something missing in Kenya. As much as somebody would like to say that the federation should not be picked on this, but the main job of the federation is to make sure that there's a conducive environment for the game to thrive. You understand? When you tell me that the federation is at times they say that clubs should look for the sponsorships. Surely, what are you telling me? You've taken the TV rights. In any country in this world, clubs make money. 90% of the money that clubs make in the world is from TV rights. Then you take the shirt sponsorship. It's already picked from by somebody else. What else do you expect these clubs to sell? So basically what we are saying is that it's not about pride. It should be about bringing everybody on board. I was so happy when I saw Kofi Olomide moving to Dar, singing about Yanga, and in a short while Simba will also have their Simba Day.
Yes.
That is what football is all about, bringing everybody together, not just thumping and telling us about suspensions and expulsions. You cannot expel somebody from football because football is life, and you don't expect to kick someone. But coming back to your question, I think each and every stakeholder has a role to play. Each and even the guy who normally just go to watch football is a stakeholder. Don't look down upon him because he's just somebody who is there to sing. We have to come together. And I'm taking this opportunity to urge the government. Look at, we are playing on Thursday against Uganda. Gentlemen.
That's a World Cup qualifying.
Yes, it's a World Cup qualifying match. 3 days later, we are going to Kigali. You know, at the moment, Kigali, fans are streaming into the stadium. They're getting back into the stadium. That means we are going to be disadvantaged as a country. When we are playing Uganda, we don't have fans. But when we are going to...
there goes the image.
Now look at that.
Look at that.
Look at this.
That's the national stadium in Dar es Salaam.
And this is not
60,000 seater capacity.
And it's not even a big match. This is their day to celebrate.
It's a fun day.
It's a day to
interact with fans and celebrate.
There is no Simba fan there.
Yes.
That's younger fans.
These are younger fans.
Yeah.
And imagine if Simba was playing younger. You know, it reaches a time in Tanzania where fans are told, no, you cannot come in.
Yeah,
you cannot. But here, even if you open the stadium for free, people will not come.
They won't fill it up.
But even without, look at that stadium. I think it's one of the best in the region.
Yeah, sure.
You see, these are the investments we have been telling the government to put. The national stadium in Tanzania, I think it was built by, actually it was not the government. It was built by FIFA funds. Yeah? But where does FIFA funds go in Kenya? That is another biggest question.
Anyway, Raburu, if you're still there, probably your quick thoughts on Tusker, whether you think they can shine in Africa. Kenyan clubs have not done very well on this before we jump over to Manchester United.
Anyway, Tusker, let's start with what else?
At Tusker, do they have chances to shine in Africa next season?
Amazing pre-season because, you know, they're going to be facing tough teams, so they need to, you know, by playing, you know, teams that are going to challenge, because if you're facing Kenya and all that, you can't be, you know, doing teams with Kinakothbiro. You have to kind of have yourself a fair challenge. I think what's going to happen is they need to prepare well. I will still, because of what I've seen him do, bank on Matano and the players. But, you know, I'd just like to say, though, I wouldn't want to be in the position of Tusker because let me tell you what, they have a lot of pressure, both locally and when they go and compete in continental levels. They have a lot of pressure, and I just hope that they don't bow to this pressure, rather they use it to you know, move forward and get even better results. Because let me tell you what, we are watching. Kina Rocho here are just waiting. And everybody else will be waiting to see what they'll do.